Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the High School Sports Zone, where we are setting the bar for high school football coverage here in the UP. I'm your host, Jake Durant, and I'm joined by Haley Schoengart. Now, Haley, our week went into overtime. We had a special Saturday edition of our Game of the Week. The Gogebic Miners hosted the Stevenson Eagles in the annual Painting the Peninsula Pink game.
Beyond the world of wins and losses, these two teams made each down count in the fight against breast cancer. Pinked out and ready to play, the Eagles and the Miners went head-to-head in a game that meant so much more than a notch in the win column.
The big winners were the breast health patients all across the Upper Peninsula, and we couldn't be more proud of this community. They came out, they purchased bucket drawings, we got people involved with the 50-50, we had a record 50-50 this year, and it was wonderful. We had blue skies and we had a bunch of smiling faces, and we raised a good portion of money for a great, great cause.
All of the money raised from the event will be staying right here in the UP to help breast cancer patients with the financial burden associated with the battle.
The Stevenson Eagles came out strong from the beginning with the help of senior CANAAN ELSON.
With a personal tie with the disease with his mom being diagnosed, Elson said he took the field on Saturday with her in mind.
Yeah, my mom's, she's always here. She's here right now, right over there, and I could hear her screaming all the time, and it's just amazing to have her out here. And she's beating it every day, so it's just amazing.
On the home side of the field, the Miners had a special fan in the stands as well. 3 years ago, Mrs. Simcoe, the high school secretary in Bessemer, was diagnosed with breast cancer.
From selling wristbands to sending flowers and a meal to just words of encouragement, Mrs. Simcoe says she really felt the love throughout her fight from the community, and for her school to have the opportunity to be a part of the game means the world to her.
It's very special. It's extremely special that we were selected this year, and now I'm at the high school as opposed to the grade school when I started with the whole process, and even some of the boys have asked, Mrs. Simcoe, are you coming to the game? Mrs. Simcoe, are you coming to the game? You know it's our pink out game, right? They remember. That was 3 years ago. Some of these kids were only in 6th grade, but they remember and they asked, are you coming to the game? So there's still that support. There's still that really outpouring of love.
And this event was just the kickoff to the Superior Health Foundation's Painting the Peninsula Pink campaign for 2021. Beginning
through the entire month, the Superior Health Foundation is encouraging businesses to sponsor a day in October. All of the money raised will, of course, go back to the Breast Health Fund.
And a portion of those proceeds will also be going back into the Wakefield and Bessemer school districts to be used for health-centered projects. To sponsor a day, head on over to upmatters.com for that link.
Don't go away, we're just getting warmed up here in the Sports Zone. When we return, we're going to reveal our top 3 plays of last week. It's our top 3-on-3 coming up after the break.
It is time to reveal our top 3 plays of Week 5 of the high school season, Jake.
Now these plays were so good, like Devin Hester, we had to run it back. This is our top 3-on-3 plays, sponsored by Recycle 906.
Number 3.
For our number 3 play of the week, we head to Bark River. Joe Calavecchi tosses this pass high into the air, and coming down with it is Luke Decker. Let's slow this down so we can appreciate the level of difficulty behind this catch. Decker is sandwiched between 2 defenders, but it doesn't matter. He hauls it in with one hand, and he keeps control as he hits the ground. Just an unbelievable grab there by the junior tight end. Congrats, Luke. You get our number 3 play of the week.
Number 2.
For our number 2 play of the week, we head to ISHPEMING's West End. WESTWOOD'S JERZEE KARKI running hard against Manistee. Look at him bouncing off of multiple Emeralds defenders. He keeps his legs churning, and he's headed into the end zone for 6. A big role for runners. Always keep those legs moving, and KARKI showing us why it is important. Westwood wins big over Manistee and did it while making amazing plays like this. Congratulations, JERZEE. You get our number 2 play of the week.
Number 1.
And for our number 1 play of the week, we head back to Wakefield. Stevenson Spencer Coldren taking the direct snap, his lineman opening up an enormous lane. Coldren hits the juice button and he's down the sidelines, 97 yards to the house. The Stevenson Eagles win big over Gogebic in our game of the week for Week 5. Congrats, Spencer. You get our number 1 play of the week. It's now time for our updated team rankings reveal.
Remember, these rankings can and will change from week to week.
Here are our high school sports zone team rankings brought to you by 41 Lumber. We're going to start in 11-man football. At number 1, we have the Marquette Redmen. At number 2, we have the Kingsford Flivers. Westwood moves from 5 to number 3 after a strong week. Sault Ste. Marie sits at number 4. And rounding out the top 5 is Negaunee. Menominee and Gladstone get honorable mention.
And now in 8-man, North Central takes that number 1 slot. Pickford is number 2. At 3, we have Forest Park. Newberry sits at 4, and Ontonagon stays put at number 5. Norway and Stevenson get honorable mentions for this week. What do you think about these rankings? Let us know. Visit our Facebook and our Twitter pages and give us your thoughts. Make sure to stay with us. We are just minutes away from revealing our 6th game of the week for the 2021 season.
But first, we're going to head to Hancock. The Bulldogs got a season-defining win against Houghton in the annual Copper Bowl last week. That's coming up next. Welcome back into the Sports Zone. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our social media feeds. It's at the Local 3 Sports Zone on Facebook and at the Local 3 Sports ZN on Twitter. Also, keep up with us at upmatters.com/sportszone. Lakeland and Hubble's Danny Marcotte made the end zone his second home last week in the Lake's big win over North Dickinson.
He didn't cross the goal line just once or twice, but he scored 5 times in Lake Linden's 42-12 victory over the Nordics. That type of production isn't something you often see from an underclassman, but the sophomore quarterback isn't backing down to any challenge. And it helps that he has an experienced and strong offensive line leading the way.
I wasn't really expecting that many, but I was expecting a couple because I think I've been playing pretty well this season. My line obviously played great, so made it pretty easy, and I just made the right reads and made the right cuts and turned out well.
We have a lot of seniors on our line, starting up front with, Troy Corrigan, and then we have Marcus Sutherland and Ben Tampus at our end spots, and then Gabe Popko and Kirby Koskla doing a nice job up front as well, and then James Milkey coming out of the backfield blocking people. So it really begins there, and then Danny's done a really nice job preparing himself for the year. He's still a young player, but his work and dedication in the weight room and with working with me throughout the whole off season to prepare to be a quarterback at the varsity level, he's really done a nice job.
The Lakes will need a strong performance from Marcotte once again when they take on Stevenson this Saturday. The 2021 Copper Bowl game between Houghton and Hancock had everything you would expect in a big-time rivalry matchup. That's right, Haley. The Bulldogs edged their Crossbridge rival Houghton 20-17. Shane Aho found the end zone in the fourth quarter to give Hancock the lead. The Bulldogs defense then stepped up with Chad Nordstrom sealing the game with an interception, giving the Gremlins 8 turnovers on the night. Bulldogs assistant coach Matthew Strong said the win told him a lot about his team, who are getting better by the week.
We went in there, we knew it was going to be a hard-fought game like it always is every year, and we were talking about the history of it, and it's just a big-time historical game for both programs. And we just said, guys, go out and make your own history, one way or the other. And those kids came out and fought, and it was an emotional battle up and down. Super proud they came out. I mean, it was all them. They put the work in during the week, and they just came out, hit hard, stayed focused. They knew exactly what they had to do on defense, and they did it.
Hancock welcomes in Westwood to McAfee Field tomorrow night. Coming up on the Sports Zone, we'll reveal where we're headed for our next game of the week. But first, we head to Calumet to speak with who I believe is the most electric player in all of the UP. And we'll meet with 2 foreign exchange students in ESCANABA who are living out their dream of playing American football. Don't look now, but the Calumet Copper Kings have turned things around after a slow start to their season. They've won 2 straight and have a big game coming up tomorrow night against Iron Mountain. All UP Dream Team running back Dryden Nelson brings a unique skill set to the field for the Copper Kings and will be a key to the team's success.
Sometimes the quietest people can make for the best leaders. For the Calumet Copper Kings, Dryden Nelson's quiet confidence is something they feed off of.
You know, he's one of those quiet. He's not a hoorah type of kid, but no one works harder and keeps his mouth shut and just gets after it every day and leads by example. All of our leaders are kind of like that, and so they've kind of left their comfort zone and are leading us in a good way, and we need him to do that for us.
He's a quiet leader. He leads by example, and he brings everything he's got every game and practice.
I'm not the loudest player on the field, but I just like to get it done and show underclassmen what I can do, and hopefully follow my footsteps.
At just 5'9" and 170 pounds, Nelson isn't your typical running back.
He's small, but he can run you over and he can run right around you.
What makes Nelson so unique is his speed. He's able to make something out of nothing and can score the ball from anywhere on the field.
Every play is something else. He's a tremendous athlete. In space, I don't think there's anyone better than him in the UP because he's just so quick and can change. He doesn't change speed, but he changes directions real fast.
I just see something in front of me. I just gotta make it happen, I guess. Just try as hard as I can.
Getting Nelson room to move is a top priority for the Copper Kings.
We try and do a good job of getting him the ball and having those opportunities in open space. And he gets it on defense every so often with a pick. And special teams is always exciting because once the ball's in his hands, you never know what's going to happen.
Nelson's all-around abilities out of the backfield make things easier for the Calumet coaching staff.
It takes the pressure off. You don't have to design plays just to get him in a place to score, because he could take the ball from anywhere and in a bunch of people and all of a sudden come out, and next thing you know, you're watching him go for 6.
He can impact the game in plenty of ways, running the ball, receiving, anything.
If you're just running the ball, players can just stop that. But if you can do multiple things like block, pass, catch, and you're harder to guard, or just a better player.
Nelson's success on game day comes as no surprise from his teammates.
Even every week in practice, he runs the ball, and you think you can get him, and he just goes right by you every time. His speed is just, every time, it's just wow. He practices like this every day. Every time he gets the ball, he runs hard, even in practice.
Well, off season, I'll lift pretty much almost every day. Sometimes I even come up on a track and just run, and I'll be in shape. And then before games, just get a good mindset so you're ready, focused up, and come in and just play your hardest.
Special players like that are special because they love playing the game of football, and he does, and you can just see it in them.
Moving to a new country can be a big adjustment for any person, let alone a teenager.
But try learning a new sport on top of that. For 2 Eskimos, this dream of American football became a reality for the 2021 football season.
Actually, they got here the 3rd week of football, I believe, right when school started, and they fit right in. Neither one of them have ever played football before, but I really think they're just great kids, great assets to the team. They're loving playing.
Jag är Tor Spets och jag spelar amerikansk fotboll.
The game of football might be a little foreign to them.
No, nothing at all. I knew about Super Bowl and stuff like that because social media. I heard about teams and NFL, that kind of stuff, but I didn't know how to play or anything. I actually watched stuff like American movies and stuff when I was little, so I kind of knew what it was, but I have never played it before, so it's a new experience.
But one thing that needs no translation is team spirit.
Coach Wilson, he's great. He's a good coach and he's very positive. He helps me and Federico a lot. He supports the team and he does what's best for the team, and it's been great. The guys are awesome. It's amazing. They're very friendly and accepting and very welcoming.
Tor isn't alone on the field when it comes to international competition.
Io mi chiamo Federico, vengo dall'Italia e gioco a football in Eskimos. Oh, it's pretty cool, our sport, because there is too much rules and there is a lot of type of player, but it's a cool sport.
The game is a way to feel connected, even when friends and family are so far away.
Yeah, it's a cool team. We have a good season. Yeah, I hope that we win more game and that I can play in more play.
These two have been in the UP for less than 2 months, but head coach Dave Wilson says they are already bringing so much to the Eskimo squad.
And they've never even heard of ESCANABA, Michigan, and they've come in here with a great attitude every single day, and they've just been great teammates. All the guys in there love them, and they're just really, really nice kids, and really enjoy playing the game of football.
Regardless of wins and losses, this experience is something they'll never forget.
Just want to play football, have fun, and make friends.
Up next on the Sports Zone, it's that time we've all been waiting for.
We'll tell you where we're going to be headed for our game of the week for Week 6, coming up next.
Welcome back into the Sports Zone. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our social media feeds. It's at the Local 3 Sports Zone on Facebook and at the Local 3 Sports ZN on Twitter. Also, keep up with us at upmatters.com/sportszone. We are now nearing the end of the show, which means it's time to reveal our next Game of the Week destination.
That is right. We are headed up M41 to see two teams that put up a combined 93 points last week alone as they both shut out their opponents. Jake and I are looking forward to see if the Negaunee Miners and the Lawrence Purple Hornets will keep that momentum going for Week 6. Sitting at 4-1 on the season so far, the Miners have been full speed ahead since their first and only loss to Iron Mountain in Week 1. 2 out of the last 3 games have been shutouts. In all 3 of those games, Negaunee has scored at least 40 points or more.
This team has been flying under the radar, putting up points on the board left and right thanks to key players like Philip Nelson and Gerald Johnson, and they are pretty defensively sound as well. Getting back in the film and weight room to self-evaluate even after a big win is something this Negaunee team says helps prepare them each week for their upcoming matchup.
I think offensively, limiting as many mistakes as we can. I think offensively we've been really good in the last few weeks as far as getting the job done, and defensively we have to be able to stop their running back. He's a pretty good back, and just being disciplined and reading our keys, coming downhill, hitting them hard. Just keep doing what we're doing, playing as a team, working hard every day in practice. Our practice has been really good so far, and they're just keep getting better. So.
Let's move now to the home team. This is a big game for the Lawrence Purple Hornets.
Through 5 games, Lawrence sits at 3-2, and a big win over Negaunee would go a long way for the Hornets, who have playoff aspirations. I'm expecting the crowd to be buzzing Friday night. This is Lawrence's homecoming game. For a talented group of seniors, this game is the one they've been looking forward to since day one.
Oh, I'm super excited. Negaunee being one of the best teams in UP, probably one of the best offensive line. It's a good opportunity for our offensive line to go prove something.
And it's because I love to go against these guys. I know they're going to bring it. They're always strong. They always work in the weight room, and it just brings the best out of me.
I feel good about our team. Our team's very physical, hardworking, but so is theirs. They're like run it right down your throat, and you got to stop it. If you don't, you can't really do anything about it.
Now this week we are mixing it up a little bit here on the Sports Zone. We showed you our top 3-on-3 plays earlier in the show, but there is one more that we think needs a little airtime.
This one was sent to us and we just have to share it with you all. This clip comes to us from last week's Marquette Freshmen versus St. Ignace JV game. The Saints kicked the ball off after getting on the board early. The score is 7-0, St. Ignace in the lead. The ball takes a few bounces and is scooped up by Marquette's Kyler Sager. He puts on the wheels and is just too fast for the Saints defenders, sending them face first into the grass. Kyler finds the outside and the rest is history. He takes that 88 yards to the house to tie the game 7-7. The Redmen did not end up taking home that win, Jake, but that was an incredible play right there. Absolutely, and as much as Haley and I wish we could be at all the football games across the UP, sadly there are only 2 of us. So if you think you have a play worthy of making our top 3-on-3, or if you just have an incredible play from a JV or freshman game, send it our way, and you never know, we might just feature it on the show. You can email those videos to Jake or I's emails, or you can message those videos to the Sports Zone Facebook or Twitter as well. And that is all the time we have tonight. But before we sign off, make sure to tune into the 5th Down tomorrow night on Local 3 News at 11 p.m. Eastern for highlights from all the action across the UP. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.